Hey there. I'm actually paying attention today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello. Hi. We're up to day 4 already, session 4 of the main sessions out of 5, which means we only have 1 week to go until all of this fabulous learning is all done. I hope you guys have been having a great time doing all the learning, taking some stuff in, really embodying what it feels like to feel confident and equipped and prepared and ready for anything, because you have the confidence, the skills, the knowledge to say what it is that you want to say. And if you're not quite there yet, that's okay, right? We're all building our skills. We're all learning as we go. And that is exactly why I'm here to help you. So, hi. Nice to meet you. I'm your friendly neighborhood copy coach with a soft spot for small business owners who really want to embody their authentic voice. That is why we're here. So, what do you think? Should we say hello? Should we get into today's session or what? If you are joining me, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I would love to see your happy, smiling faces. If you are joining me on the replay, that's no problem. Please, of course, let me know that you are still interacting with it. You're still getting great value from it. I'm confident this session will be good for anybody who needs to understand that creating content doesn't have to be horrible all the time. Because it's hey Karen, good morning. Because look, yeah, it's absolutely not easy, not always easy, but it can be better. And actually, it's not something that I've put in my presentation, but I'd really like to say this from the outset: is when we understand why we are creating what we create, it makes it much easier to do so. If our only reason that we're pulling something together is, well, because I know I have to post something, and then it's really hard to connect with the purpose of it. So one of the things that I am adding to my offer today is a strategic planning session. And I held this session, I've held it many, many times with individuals and with a massive group I did at the end of last year of my members and people in my community, so that when it came, hey Lee, you made it. When it came time to create, we would understand what ends we were trying to achieve, whether it's building engagement or whether it's building sales or expanding our following. We would understand based on our strategic plan what on earth, hey Jackie, what on earth we were trying to do in the first place. Okay. So with that in mind, let's dive into the session, shall we? I'm just going to share my screen and we will get going. Yes, we're going to be practical today. Very, very, very hands-on. So I hope this is up your street. It's certainly up mine, because we spent a lot of time talking about, you know, getting rid of imposter syndrome, building our confidence, doing all these things that are super, super important. Yeah, and that's all well and good, Lizzie. But what does it actually mean for us? What are we doing? How, with the amount of time and energy that we have, how are we getting it all done? So this is for execution more than anything else. All right, shall we dive in? Let's go. So today's agenda, I'm going to give you the full rundown on saving time and energy in creating content for your business. How do we do it? What is it? Why are we doing it? And then, of course, there'll be an invitation at the end to come work with me. And finally, your homework for the day. Each one of these sets of homework is to help you actually put something practical in place based around the teaching. So if you haven't had a chance to get to all of the homework pieces yet, go have a look at the past posts, and I'm sure you will find something valuable in there that's easy to execute. It's something that you can do right now to move forward in your business. All right. So then I'd love to get a sense of whoever's on just now. Let's have a look. How do you feel about creating content? Option 1. If you're a 1, put it in the comments. I'm super happy with my content and my stress levels are low around content creation. Awesome. Great. I hope so. That would be cool. If you're a 1, fabulous. High fives to you. Option number 2, I'm okay at creating content, but I wish I had a bit more time or inspiration to really make an impact. Yeah, I'm probably 2 most of the time. Yeah. Because, it's one of these things. Lee's a 3, Jackie's a 3. You jumped ahead. Content is the most stressful part of business ownership. I have no idea where to start and no time to create what I want. Yeah, that's totally fair. Karen's a 2 as well. Wonderful. Great job, you guys. Like, it's totally, totally normal and understandable. This is so big. The task of putting ourselves out there, the task of being visible takes so much of our energy, especially if it is not our natural starting point. And I get it. I really, really do. That's the whole point of me putting this entire event together over these last 4 weeks and 1 week to go, is so that the whole task doesn't feel quite so daunting, right? Because there's a lot of moving pieces, and what I'd like to teach you today is a skill that I hope makes the whole situation easier. We started talking a little bit about it on Tuesday with using our AI tools to help with what I'm about to show you. We talked about it kind of coincidentally. We talked about it with Jane yesterday in her win story, her inspirational story of how she keeps turning up every week and building her business bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes. She's very present on social media, and she does it with the skill I'm about to teach you. So happy days, that all tied together really well this week. So let's talk about it. It's content repurposing. So what is content repurposing? So it's reusing existing content and presenting it in a new format to expand its reach and lifespan, right? So I'd like to check, anyone here keen to save, say, 2 to 5 hours a week in their business simply by mastering this one skill? I am. Pop in the comments if you'd quite like to figure this out. I know I do this quite regularly. And in fact, one of the submissions that came through the membership today was all about this, and how much do I include from one piece to the other to cross promote without it being sort of overlapped. So that was a very, very helpful question and timely as well to be answering today. So reasons why business owners avoid repurposing. So this is something that I see quite a lot. One is that they believe that posting once is enough. Anybody guilty of that? Oh, well, I've posted it, I can't post it again. 2, they'll worry that they'll be perceived as lazy or as cheating if they refer back to themselves, I guess, in a way. And 3, and this is probably the biggest one I see, is they don't want to be repetitive. Yeah, okay, these are super, super common concerns. I see them quite a lot, but here's the thing. So few of your people in any one situation actually end up seeing what you share. So it's super important, as it's important to develop our messaging and repeat, exactly the same thing. If we've got core content that we want to share, that needs to be shared more than once. So things like, this is what I do, this is who I work with, this stuff needs to be repeated over and over again. So we're starting to do an exercise in my space that I learned around really articulating who are you, what do you do, who do you do it for, and boiling that down to one key phrasing that you can have effortlessly roll off your tongue. So the same applies to the content that we share. Once is never enough. It's just not. Worrying about whether you'll be perceived as lazy or cheating. If somebody is going to perceive that of you, that is a them problem, not a you problem. Just saying, right? What was it? I feel like I've maybe fumbled this line already, but other people's opinions of you is none of your business. You just keep doing you, right? Something in that neighborhood is, I know it's the phrase for real, but it's something like that. And yeah, you don't want to be repetitive, but that's not what content repurposing is about. It's not just, I'm going to share the one post over and over and over again forever. It's, I have a signature message and that message needs to be heard. And would you like to join me in this is my take on whatever topic? Okay. So it is sharing an old blog post that maybe you've updated with new and relevant data and thought leadership quotes. So you can go back to what you've already created, give it a bit of an update, and you see what, no matter whether it's so yes, this context is a blog, right? But let's say it's an email, let's say it's a social post, let's say it's a YouTube clip. You need to look back at so far for you, what's been performing for your audience. And provided you would like to keep attracting that audience, then you look at replicating things like that too. So just a little side tip. So sharing an old blog post that you've updated, you can simply say, this is something that I wrote, but I've got more information now, or I've changed my opinion, or maybe you're just saying, look, I've looked back on this. I wrote this 2 years ago, and my goodness, it still holds up well. I'm very happy with this. So it's not just about, this is something that I wrote, full stop. This is something that I wrote, and here's what I think about that. Yeah, so this is where these thought leadership quotes come in. You become the leader of your space when you have a significant perspective to share, right? Your own perspective. People want to know what you think of X, Y, Z thing. They may not agree with you, and that is fine, but that's kind of what you're here for, right? Is to share your unique perspective on your area of expertise, okay? Content repurposing is taking key points from an ebook or a blog and creating an infographic to post potentially on Twitter, right? Oh no, it's not called Twitter anymore. Gosh, I'm so set in my ways. So it could be that, or posting on Instagram, posting wherever. You could have an entire massive chunk that you have created back in the day, and you want people to go read it. So you take these key points and you turn it into a really digestible infographic, like a digestible image. And then you talk about that and say, if you want to read more, go download the book, sign up to the newsletter, whatever, go see it on my website, or I'll send it straight to your inbox, whatever that call to action is. This is the perfect opportunity to do it. And you've already created the ebook or the blog or whatever. So why shouldn't you use that to get people further and further into your signature universe? Yeah. What else have we got? It is creating video clips of podcast recording sessions to post on Instagram to generate hype and excitement for an upcoming episode. Yep, you've already created content. You don't need to then create a new video that says you should really listen to my podcast. Just pull out even audio clips of the conversation that you've had. Doesn't really matter what you choose, but you don't have to start from scratch. Yeah, okay. So that's a really good one too. What else have we got? This is what it is not. Oh man, I still talk about Twitter. I just can't get on board with the whole X thing. What are they called? What are the posts called? Are they X's? Are they still tweets? Anyone know? I don't know, but it's confusing to me. So I'm sticking with Twitter. It isn't sharing an old blog post on your profile without updating the content for relevancy and simply changing the description. That doesn't cut it, because if somebody's read it, that doesn't give me an updated take on what it is that you think, feel, see, believe. You know, if nothing has changed about it, all right, why are we sharing it? Unless there was something like it was the highest performing thing and you're sharing it because it was the highest performing post you've ever done or something. But it's still important to keep it relevant. If it's not relevant, it probably needs an update. Yeah. What else isn't content repurposing? Taking a news article from another site and editing it to fit your brand or business image. No, that's plagiarism. So we don't want to be just lifting information and pretending that we wrote it ourselves. That's not repurposing. That is content. That is like IP theft, right? And we're not going to do that, because once again, that doesn't give our voice. what we can do is say, share a link and say, here's this really interesting article that I found. I think this about that. What do you think? Yeah. So not every call to action has to be come by with me. Sometimes it's just about an invitation to open the dialogue. Yeah. So have a think about when you receive an email or read an article that relates to your industry, what are you doing about it? Are you keeping your thoughts to yourself, or are you inviting your audience to share in a dialogue with you and really build that community out? Um, uh, it's totally allowed, and actually, I would argue quite a confident move to say, "Here's my thoughts on this." Because then you're sharing just a little bit more of you. Okay. Now, what it isn't posting on different social media channels. That's just cross-channel posting, and that's fine too. I would say this year ahead, one of the major trends is actually not doing that at all, but focusing on the one channel that you like best, that your audience is most on, that gives you the most, I don't know, joy or whatever you want to call it, whatever you enjoy best. Go for that channel and put all of your energy into that, rather than trying to sort of be everywhere and all things to all people. There's nothing wrong with being purely present in a place that you enjoy most. So just keep that in mind too. That's one of the trends for 2024, is moving away from this cross-channel posting technique. Because you know what? Trying to keep tabs on what everybody's doing, any comments that come through on any platform, that's a lot of energy out the door, isn't it? Yes. So why should you do it? Why should we repurpose content? Okay, I'll give you my top level reasons. One, it saves you a ton of time. There's never a blank page, or like figurative blank page, because you've already done the work somewhere else. Yeah, I'm not saying all of your content should be repurposed, but a strong majority can be, when, let's say, you've got the core content of something, well, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but core content, something like a blog or a podcast or a vlog or something. Yeah. Use that and then talk about it. It's not too difficult, but it saves you a bunch of time. Consistent message and brand voice comes into it. Yeah. So if you're referring to the thing that you created, and that's created in a certain style, and then your reference to it is in the same style, that builds on that consistent messaging, that consistent signature voice that you are committed to. Yeah. There's definitely the opportunity for an SEO boost. Anybody not familiar with SEO at all? So we're looking at, how can we be more visible to the Google gods? How can we be more visible to the search engines? So when you have multiple pieces of content centered around similar targeted keywords, search engine crawlers will generally recognize you as a source of authority, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to build our authority with every single thing that we share. You're not just creating content for the sake of it. You're putting out valuable resources in multiple different forms that provide value to your users. Yep. Okay. It also broadens, this is the big one as well, right? I'm going to really highlight that. It broadens your audience reach, because you know what? Different people enjoy receiving information in different ways. So if you have a podcast, maybe somebody would prefer to read, I mean, I wouldn't, but that's just me. Maybe someone would prefer to read the transcript. That transcript could be slotted into a blog, or pieces of the information. Go for it, Lee. You steal that word. Yes, so you could pull out information from the transcript and insert it into your blog. Then the email that points to the blog that promotes the podcast can also be sent. Maybe it's a video, maybe there's social posts, but everybody digests information differently. And it's just about maximizing, I guess, the opportunities for people to see what it is that you do, what you stand for, who you are, all of these things. So that's why we repurpose content. And yeah, there's this clear through line in your marketing ecosystem, which, you know, everything from your website to your podcast, to your social media, to your lead magnets, to everything all kind of speaks the same language. That is the gold standard we're looking for. So I want to check in with you guys. 1, 2, 3, or 4, what do you use for master content in your business? 1, a podcast. 2, a blog. 3, a vlog. That's a terrible word to say, by the way. Or 4, I haven't got anything yet. And it's okay if you don't, but let's talk about how we can get that going for you. So drop in the comments 1, 2, 3, 4, if you can. Have you got any of these? And if not, let's think about how we can get it for you without your like brain exploding. Because that's not what we're here for. Nope, we want it to be easy peasy. Jackie's a 4. Yep, that's totally fine, Jackie. We're doing one thing at a time for you, aren't we? We are going to get our offer figured out, and then everything points to that. Everything supports that. It's me again, says Lee. Lee's a 4 as well. Well, do you know what? Absolutely. It's not easy. I'll let you in on a secret. I have blogged. I have podcasted. Do I have time in my mind? Have I created time to do either of these effectively? No, I have not. So my content game is not what it should be. It's that whole situation of, what is it? Builders' houses being finished last or whatever, or a chef's dinner being like McDonald's or something. I don't know. It's in that kind of neighborhood where, you know, it would be great. And this is the gold standard. But if you can't, well, it's a work in progress, isn't it? So let's all be a bit nice to ourselves, eh? All right. So how do we do it? It's all well and good to have this information, but what does it mean for us specifically? Okay. So maybe you want to create how to repurpose blog content specifically. Maybe you want to create a YouTube video based on the blog. So how-to posts are great to convert into visual guides on YouTube, especially with graphics heavy pieces. Suppose you're a business that coaches salespeople on mastering a sales call. You can write a script to include in a blog post, but it could also be converted into a YouTube video where an actual salesperson runs through the script. I know today that's not relevant to anybody who's here with me live, but it is a version that you could do a how-to of whatever it is that's your specialty. And then you've got that in 2 places referring to each other in both ways. Maybe it's an infographic that you want to create. So a blog post full of statistics and data can then be turned into a really easy to digest breakdown of the infographic. And the call to action there would then, of course, be, want more details? Go read the blog. Yeah. Maybe we want to create an ebook. And by ebook, I do not mean a 2-page document. I cannot tell you how many times I have been excited to download an ebook and then found that it is very light on for details. If you are creating an ebook, make it a book, not a worksheet or something of that nature. So yeah, give it substance. Okay. And number 4, you can extract thought leadership quotes out of your blog content. Yes. So your ebook would be a way of expanding on what you've said in your blog. Thought leadership quotes is a way of summarizing what you put in your blog. So they're kind of the opposite ends of the spectrum. Have a go. All right, how do we repurpose social media? Do you know what you can do? You can use old images as post backgrounds. So use these images as the background for quotes you extract from blog posts, or simply post the images on their own to draw audience attention to a past project. And again, this goes down to looking at what has performed historically. Yeah. You could post snippets of existing video content. So you can edit it down to fit within the video length requirements and repurpose for each of the platforms you have a presence on. If you're hesitant to do this or new to video overall, Just have a think about this, right? This is statistics. I think they were taken last year. So 86% of video marketers say that video has a high return on investment, and 85% of businesses already use video marketing as a tool. Yeah, so you wouldn't be alone in attempting this. This is where the attention is lying at the moment, is video content. So finding existing video and turning that into something that people want to engage with is a really handy way to approach your repurposing game. Definitely number 3 is a hugely valuable practice, if you can get into it, is posting user-generated content. So it could be anything from reviews or testimonials on your product or services, or it could be like discussions between the two of you, or it could be them actually using your services or your products, you know. But generally speaking, oh no, I suppose you could even do it if somebody was particularly unhappy, but that was one out of thousands, for instance, then sometimes you can have a bit of a playful dig at yourself. And, you know, there's quite a few examples. I'll see if I can find any of like 1 star because, you know, the sheets weren't folded in a certain way or whatever, like some really silly stuff, but you can leverage that as well. Number 4 is extract quotes from existing content. Yep. Go pull a quote from somewhere else, something that you've written before, put it on a nice new, what would you call it? Is it a tile, I guess? I think we're Instagrammy if we call it a tile. Put it on a graphic, share it with the world, but don't just share it. Tell me what you think of it. Why did you write it? What were you thinking about? What life situation? Do you still agree with yourself? Because you know what? We're allowed to move on from that information. We're allowed to decide that actually we think something different. Yeah, aren't we? So have a go. How do we repurpose webinars and videos? Maybe you develop a transcript for each of them. Maybe you turn those transcripts into blog posts. So have a look at the tools and tricks that I shared with you on Tuesday for this, because there's a lot of AI tools that will help you with this. Maybe you extract the audio and you turn it into a podcast episode. It's doable. Podcasts are an interesting beast. Good fun, good times. And finally, how do we repurpose a podcast? Actually, not finally, well, yeah. Anyway, we create text transcripts. We can pull out quotes for your socials. We can grab audio snippets as teasers. We can embed podcasts into blogs, right? So many, many, many ways that we can take existing stuff, especially our core content, and turn it into lots and lots and lots and lots. And we don't have to struggle so much with what the hell am I supposed to write today? As I said at the start, we really always need to think about, why am I creating this? It's not just the burden of having to say something, because that is not where creativity is best expressed. It is, I need to engage. I'm ready to sell. I need to get more people in my audience. Lee says, Potties, I've been on so many and not thought I could repurpose. Of course, yeah. It does, yeah, of course. It doesn't just have to be your own podcast. If you're a guest on someone else's, of course, there's a million different ways you could do that too. You could even pull out quotes from the podcast you've been on, whether you said it or someone else said it, and then have a dialogue about what you think of the conversation. Maybe there's something you disagreed with. Maybe the host said something that you went, I'm not sure about that. And it's an invitation to open that conversation with your people. Okay, this is cool. All right. So we're getting to the end of the tips here. I promise I will stop splinging information out. It's kind of my job, but here we are. It's a lot. This one's quite dense. So you might want to come back and watch this again and pull out the pieces that are relevant to you. So the first thing to do is identify which is your most popular content. Find the best performing blogs on your website, maybe using something like Google Analytics. Find the best performing blogs best performing content on your socials, because the insights are there and readily available. who's interacting, who's commenting, what gets the most engagement, and then do more things like that. Yep. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Whoa. You can identify blogs or case studies that you think have great content but didn't gain adequate popularity. Okay, so go back to the things that you really, really liked and then talk about them and say, this didn't do well. You could even be totally upfront and say, I have no idea why this didn't do well. I'm really proud of this work, and here's why. You know, so it's something you're really emotionally attached to. Okay, talk about it. Why is this important to you? Because the more you can express your take, the easier it is to connect and build that trust with people. Content that was created some time ago that needs to be updated and make relevant. Okay, we kind of covered that already. So you identified those pieces. Yeah. Then what do we do next? Then we go ahead and we update it. So make sure it has a current spin. Make sure that it's visually like not only visually pleasing, but visually on brand, right? Because maybe your branding has changed since you produced it in the first place. Maybe your target audience has changed since you first created this. And always check your keywords and your SEO strategy around it as well, because things do change, and it's important to have some strong knowledge around your SEO strategy. And if you don't know, ask for help. I can help you with that, because I did the hard yards in figuring out SEO, so I can help. All right, and then the final step is simply publish and promote. Hit publish. Good old Tom Hanks. Wow, how old is that movie? And as I say, if you're unsure, ask for backup. Okay, we're here to help. We've got a whole community of people who are in exactly the same position as you. And we are using it to get new clients. We are using it to sell out memberships or subscription services, or simply to master our language in a new business, right? There are a million ways that we can use these techniques, and that's why we're here, right? Is to make your job as the leader of your business as easy as it can be. Okay. So for the second last time, I'm going to talk to you about copy check-in. If this isn't for you, or if you're already in, great. You can tune out for a minute or two until it comes back to talking about the homework task for today. Okay, so my membership, the copy check-in, we've got some fabulous humans that are already involved. They've gotten deep into the weeds of what it is that they're looking to do, how they're going to do it, how they present it, who they're talking to. They've already started to build that momentum. And that's only since we started at, the start of the month. So we want you to make progress every single week. And that's what I have built, is a mechanism to do that, right? We want you, we, the whole community around you, want you to be able to hit publish with confidence every single time you do it. Yep. And that comes from having backup. Yep. I am a mentor, but I'm also your backup, right? If you've already created something awesome and you send it to me, I'm not going to tell you it needs fixed if it doesn't. It's going to be great. Yep. That's what we are here to do. That's to feel really good about what we create in a way that feels good to us. Yep. So as we have discussed, we have the weekly live classes, which have become super, super popular, very in-depth, very connected, very heart-centered conversations that we have, all based around building your business your way. Doing your copy and doing your content your way. Yeah, we do review your work. Sometimes it purely becomes a discussion around strategy as well as whatever the crowd needs on the day. So we deep dive into that strategy. And if you can't make it to the class, of course, there are offline reviews that I do as well. And you'll get a recorded loom of, here is the rationale behind the changes that I've made. And you learn and you learn and you learn. And that's great. And then if you're like quite a few of the members that are already in the space, eventually you'll end up with my little voice in your ear going, hey, we don't do it that way because XYZ things. And then you've got the skill for life, which has been great. Something that I have added this year is everybody gets one-to-one mentorship as well. So these are strategic sessions where we go into what's worked, what hasn't, what have we done, what do we need to do more of, where are we going, right? So become very strategic in these sessions. It's not just a chitty chat. It's not just whatever. It's not a social gathering. It's an opportunity for you to get really deep into what am I doing? Where do I want to go? And so that's what we do in our one-to-ones. As I've talked about at length, the community that we have is just so rich with diverse interests and spectacular humans who are here to support, who understand what it's like to be a small business owner, who understands that it's not always easy, but we're all here to hold each other up. That's what we do. Well, to support, you know, not as in hold up, but more as in we're here for you. We get it. We understand the thoughts going through your head, right? It's a lot. And sharing the burden makes it easier. We have fortnightly accountability group working sessions. We do a 90-minute session on foundational building your signature foundational brand voice, and you'll get a spreadsheet of guidelines for that for yourself to refer to anytime. Monthly expert masterclasses. We talked about them last week. The first one is starting on the 16th of February. They're going to be the third Friday of every month. There's going to be a directory, or it's coming. That'll be mid-Feb when everything kicks off officially. Yes, a directory of all of our members so you can understand who's in the space and who you might be able to collaborate with on a visibility building mission. And then, of course, my little black book of trusted tools and suppliers where you'll be able to ideally get a bunch of discounts and understand which tools I've used and trust and would share with you, because I want to make your life as easy as possible. Okay. And the bonuses, which will expire tomorrow, as I said at the start of this session, something that is really, really helpful as far as putting our content together is understanding why we're doing it, right? So I have decided, I didn't say this at the start of the week in the email that comes, but I decided I would throw in a 90-minute one-to-one strategic planning session worth $450, including the template that will map out your year and make content creation that much easier, because you'll know strategically what are you trying to achieve in any one month or quarter or whatever, and it's customized to you. Of course, we have access to the higher level of the membership, the amplifier level, which is where you'll get bonus classes and free entry to the expert masterclasses. So this is all around scaling strategy as much as it is around the normal copy things that we talk about too, the more normal strategic approaches to your content creation. And of course, my suite of templates worth nearly close to is worth up to $997. So that's $1.5 grand worth of additional value for you if you sign up today. So that looks like this. If you signed up today, you maybe would like to pay in installments. You'd maybe like to pay in advance and save yourself a bit of coin overall. Either way, you can do that today for $19.99 or $189 a month, and then we will welcome you in, right? And you'll be, if you see the little video, that's what Check-in HQ looks like. You'll be welcome in, I'll show you around. And today you could already be on your way to building that momentum. So your first piece of content could go in right today and we'll take it from there. So the thing is, right, the bonuses don't last. So I'm going to take this bonus away tomorrow. And it feels like it's soon, but do you know what? That's the nature of bonuses. They expire, don't they? So if you're interested, scan the QR code and get yourself signed up. It's super, super easy. It couldn't be more simple. And if you have more questions, please, of course, book a time to talk with me. I'm so happy to discuss what you need. If there's anything that you feel are gaps in your skill or gaps in your confidence or gaps in your strategy, let's talk about it. I'll diagnose and see if there's anything that we can do to support you. Okay, so either way, we've got a QR code or we have links. If there's anything that you need from me that you haven't yet understood, that's cool. I can help you with that. Just ask, right? All right. From today's session, are there any questions about repurposing content? If you are watching this later, please add your questions to the comments as well. It's totally fine. I'm still about almost all the time. So I'm very, very happy to answer whatever is on your mind. Just pop the questions in the comments and I will respond. All right, day 4 homework. So today's mission, today's action point, let's call it, is for you to go back over your socials and find your best performing post. That's step 1. Step 2, you can make any of the tweaks that I've suggested in my training today, any of them at all. And then you're going to go and you're going to post the thing. And then the final step, and this is my favorite one, is you're going to tell us about it. Come back to the day 4 homework thread that I'm going to post in just over 15 minutes time. Post the link to the thing that you've shared on the day 4 homework thread. That way we can all go and see it and put love on it, right? And we want to kind of support each other in that way too and build that visibility and tell those algorithms that this is content worth looking at. So that is the idea of that. So keep an eye out, about 15 minutes time, the homework post will go out. And that's it for today. Next week, right? So next week, next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Queensland time, so it's 11 a.m. daylight savings time on the East Coast. I don't know what it is. I get confused. Any other time zones, just look it up because it's so difficult to figure out. We're doing hooks and headlines, and this is so, so, so important. This is the most important skill to master, right? Out of all of them. So I've decided that it's going to be a live on Zoom situation. This is how serious we are about it. So if you need help with your hooks and headlines, the reasons people stop their scroll and decide to interact with your content, this is the place to be next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Queensland time. We'll be in the Zoom. Of course, you guys will all get the link to the Zoom call. Today is not the day for that. I will make sure I get it to everybody. This is unmissable, and everybody who joins me will get a very special gift resource that will help you pull together your own hooks and headlines that make the impact you need it to make. Sounds good, right? I think it sounds good anyway. Cool. So that's it for today. Please ask questions. Reach out to me if you have anything that doesn't make sense or that you need more help with. I am here to support you in figuring all of that out. All right. Thanks, everybody. That's it from me. I will see you next time. I'll see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.